My name is James Munyaneza. I'm the managing editor of The New Times, a Rwandan media brand. I'm honored and humbled to serve you today as your MC. It's now my honor and privilege to welcome the CEO of Rwanda's Private Sector Federation to deliver his keynote address. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, James. Government officials here with us, distinguished captains of industries, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. In a special way, allow me to recognize distinguished guests who have honored this event. I would want to recognize and thank the Minister of Trade and Commerce, Trademark East Africa, and GIZ, who have contributed and sponsored this event. Thank you so much, and please do it next year because we shall have the same event. I also want to recognize and thank the moderators and our panelists who are going to be with us throughout this day. Without you, this event would be a lukewarm, wouldn't be interesting. And please don't invite us to be panelists or moderators. We want to listen to you when you are being our moderators and panelists. Thank you so much, and we look forward to your good contribution. In the same regards, allow me to recognize special guests from neighboring countries. We have delegates from DRC who are here with us. Bienvenue. We have delegates Please do business in Rwanda. Make sure you strike deals with the Rwandan business community here. We have delegates from Namibia. I don't know, someone from Kenya has arrived in the room. Okay. We have from South Africa, and who is also a panelist in one of the sessions. We have delegates from as far as US, United States of America. If you're in the room, please stand up for recognition. Okay. Allow me to take you through briefly about the NBF, the National Business Forum. One, it is the first of its kind that is going to be held annually. And among other things we are going to look at is how it feeds into the CFTA globally, the one we are organizing across the continent. It is a sister event to the recently launched of Golden Business Forum. We'll be looking at a number of issues and solutions, how to reduce the cost of production, increase skills and production capacity, skills and labor, productivity, and other issues as we shall be getting from this session in terms of recommendations and proposals. This is the center of private sector. Private sector is the engine of the business and economy, and that being the case, and I have the members in the business here, private sector has continued to invest, and if you look at its contributions in investment in the percentage of GDP, and you just take a number of years back, if you pick 2014, the percentage of contribution of private sector was at 25.3%, which moved to 26% in 2016. In 2017, there was a little bit of the shock, and the projected growth declined because of the global trends. But even then, the percentage of contribution of private sector increased from 21.6 to 22.5. That goes again with employment. Globally, private sector is the biggest employer of and job creation. So if you look at the job created so far from the establishment census, around 616,000 jobs were created in total, but out of that, 409,000 jobs were created by private sector establishments, employing over 408,000 Rwandans and 7,000 foreigners. So private sector keeps and continues to lead in terms of all sectors that make up the economy. In terms of private sector secretariat as the focal point and the apex body of business community, we try to look at what can it be done in terms of moving forward the growth and stay productive and competitive in the region. Today, over 80% of our establishments are SMEs, and at times, many of them collapse before they last longer. We have come up with a number of strategic aspects or positions to make sure that we stay competitive, and hence we have encouraged collective investments, whereby we look at how we can capitalize on capabilities of negotiation, competitiveness, and increase productivity. And therefore, because of that, 6 of the companies have been created, and they're operational as we speak. Today, we have one of them being 9, which is in logistics and transport, and I have already bought over 100 trucks. So far, I think 50 are on market here operating, and soon others will be also showing their products. The purpose of these companies is to create jobs, of course, increase revenues, pay tax on time, increase domestic market production, export readiness, and other factors that contribute to the economic growth. Thank you so much once again for honoring our invitation, and I thank the government for its continued support and creating a good business environment. Thank you so much. Let's stay and do business.
Thank you very much, CEO, Rwanda Private Sector Federation. May we please give him another round of applause. Thank you very much. Now, as you may have noticed, the next item on the agenda is our first panel discussion. In our panel discussion today, the first panel discussion is about quality and the standards. We'll have 5 panelists. Now, I wish to invite our panelists to come to the stage, starting with Mr. Bill Kayonga. Please welcome Bill Kayonga. I wish to invite our next panelist, Director General of Rwanda Food and Drugs Authority. Our next panelist is CEO of Dr. Mattresses. Please, you welcome. Masaka Creamery Limited, you're most welcome. Our next panelist to join the team is Managing Director, New Kigali Designer. You're welcome, sir. So without further ado, I will go straight to the first question, and we'll probably start with introductions. Let's talk more about what we do as at our own institutions, in line with the theme, which is quality and standards for made in Rwanda products. We start with you, Bill.
Thank you, moderator. Called Bill Kayonga, the CEO NAEB. It's a government public commercial institution created in 2011, merging 3 parastatals at the time, Osir Cafe, and Rwanda. Around that time, government exited from quite a number of factories through privatization, and created NAEB as a facilitator for the development of agro-export value chains. In essence, to support the private sector, the companies that have been privatized, to be able to understand the challenges they face and how, working with them, we can be able to progressively solve the problems to grow and boost agriculture export revenues.
I'm the Director General of Food and Drug Authority. My name is Dr. Charles Karangwa. The Food and Drug Authority have been created, established by law last year in February. Myself have been in position in July. The authority have been started by first order of business by mapping regulatory function disseminated in various ministries, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Commerce, and so on, and the Ministry of Health, of course. And we come up with a team collected from those ministries with a clear mandate to safeguard public safety. And Rwanda FDA, in short, have a clear mandate to look at the public safety, of course, and of course by regulating medicine and food, and by regulating food and drug, we have developed a lot of tools to make it happen. But in our business, or daily business, we make sure that we have to create a consortium of discussion with our stakeholders. That means guidelines, regulation. We come together in session and we agree on terms and how it will be implemented.
My name is Adnan Mardin. I'm the founder of Dr. Mattress. We actually produce mattresses. We do anything from foam to spring and latex mattresses. We don't only produce the finished product, we produce also raw material. I guess one of the topics we are going to discuss is that here. I have been fortunate to be in East Africa for the last 34 years. I came to Kenya when I was 20 years old, and I did lots of trading business, and that is importation. And every time I imported goods, I felt the pain of high costs, and that led me into production and observing high quality and low cost products. I guess that's why I'm here as well. Again, thank you.
Julie?
My name's Julie Ijuraneza. I'm the director of Masaka Creamery. Masaka Creamery is a dairy processing company. It's a local company, Rwandan company. And we do a number of products from milk, but we are known in Rwanda as a yogurt company. But we also do things like butter, fresh cream, and lots of products. And in Rwanda, we are known to be the producers of Rwanda's favorite yogurt. You're all welcome to taste Masaka Creamery. We are everywhere in all supermarkets in Rwanda. You can find our products. We are so privileged to be part of this great event, and we are proud of that, and we are so happy to be part of the ongoing development of our nation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
My name is Andrew Kanyonya, Managing Director of New Kigali Designers. New Kigali Designers is a company registered in 2011, and we specialize in the production of garments, mainly in T-shirts. But I'm also the chairman of the Textile Investment Group, which is a holding company of 10 companies in textile sector who have come together to address the challenges and also the way forward to develop the textile and garment in our country and the region at large. So our target or our purpose in the sector is 1, to create jobs, 2, make sure we produce quality products or clothing for our industry, but also fostering to look forward to exporting in the region and the world.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Andrew. So let's get started. And you know the situation out there. In terms of quality, how are made in Rwanda products performing out there?
I think before we get to that, I think it would be of interest to the audience to understand when we're talking about made in Rwanda, how do we link it with brand Rwanda? Because it's quite clear that at times we do not give it the right amount of attention. Out there, Rwanda has become increasingly associated with quality, with getting things done, with having a clean environment. So in whatever we do, we really have to focus on quality. And there are quite a number of factors that also determine that. Given our position geographically, we, without question, face higher logistic costs than most of our would-be competitors, given the size of the country. So the choice of what we do and how we do it is very critical to how we position the products that we produce as a country, as the private sector. And it has been proven. If we look, we've been in the tea sector as a country for the last about maybe 60 years, but increasingly the tea from Rwanda is being sought after for its high quality. When you look at the performance of our tea at the auction, we're about 20% priced higher than our next competitor because the tea is being sought after for its quality, for its character, but the consistency over time. Because the market out there, even as they look for quality, they want consistency, that you're going to be consistent in the production of that quality. And the branding that goes with it. So we've worked very hard to create a unique brand for Rwandan tea, a unique brand for Rwandan coffee, and a unique brand for fresh produce, Rwanda Fresh. And we use these brands in partnership with the private sector to be able to tell the would-be client out there that we have built systems in country at production level, processing level, and logistics that can guarantee the product that they will receive out there. That way, you can be able to create a brand loyalty over time. It's painful. We understand that, yes, the private sector at times need to invest 1, 2, 3 years before they can get the dividend from good quality brands. But long term, when you build good brands, when you build good quality products, you're making lifelong investments because it takes a longer time for your competitor to build the right skills, the right clientele that can sustain their business. Those that have understood this today, after so many years, have started reaping benefit. When you look at the horticulture industry, for example, today, one would wonder that Rwanda that is coming on the stage this late, how are we going to compete with already established players in the region and globally? But the world is such a funny place that there is always a change happening, and that the market is always looking for a new entrant as long as they are trustworthy, as long as they are dependable. So, as we talk about made in Rwanda, we should link it to brand Rwanda and should be focused on consistency, should be focused on being predictable, and at the same time, really building the right skills that are required for this.
Thank you very much, Bill. But Andrew, please come in. What's your take there? How are we faring? He did mention traditional sectors, tea, coffee, in terms of these other, your sector, garments and textile, the feedback you get. There's a feeling, there's a general sense that the quality is still low. Some of it is probably a myth. Some think that the variety is not diverse enough. What's your take on that? Is it a matter of, is it just a matter of mindset?
I will start from the point of our discussion, which is quality and standards. Normally, quality is a process, and the process starts at the product development or the project development. Normally, what we do, people look at, they want to produce what they want, instead of looking at what the client wants. What is your target market in the first place? You have come up with the idea, but who do you want to produce it for? So once you've identified your target market, then you say, for instance, I'm a New Kigali Designers, and I'm in a Rwandan market, and we are looking at a garment sector of 65 million garments per year. But these are different garments. So who do I target? What was my product in mind? And if my product in mind is t-shirts, who do I target in a market of 8.4 million t-shirts needed in Rwanda per year? Is it high-end, middle, low? So once I've identified that, then I know the numbers. I've done my market research, and I should know what these people require in terms of fabric, in terms of texture, in terms of cost.
Oh, thank you very much. Let's come to the mandate of Food and Drugs Authority. It's a relatively new institution, very important, but there is a sense that you're good at inspection, maybe, or you're putting some more effort in inspection and regulation, and they're cracking down on fake products on the market, which is very good, which is, we need that as well. What are you doing in terms of supporting the players in this sector today?
First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to make some clarification. We are not working as a police body, but we are working as a stakeholder, a partner for our stakeholders. So, in terms of quality issue, of course, we have experienced a lot of trouble, but we try together with our stakeholders to look at how we can improve. Have an example, for instance, when we found on the market a batch number which is a substandard or have some quality issue. Of course, what we have to do is to recall this batch number so that we can protect our public health. This is one. But second stage, we have to go near the stakeholders. We discuss, we look at the facility, each premises should be investigated, all the process of production, and we detect some gaps. And together we work, and we have time to resolve the problem. Today, maybe I have an opportunity to announce what is going on today. The food sector is very, very wide and very complicated. So to start with a solid foundation, now currently we are conducting a mapping of all food sector, countryside. That means we are looking now we are, visiting all facilities, food processing industries, importers, to look at how it looks like in terms of quality. And after that, our purpose is to look how can improve together, to take an opportunity we have today of this African Continental Free Trade Area, regional integration. So we need to make sure that we improve. We are not working as a police, but a stakeholder.
Thank you very much, Director General. Julie, what more do you think you need or you need from the Food and Drugs Authority? What do you think is the missing link in terms of quality and supporting and accompanying companies like yours to improve on issues of quality?
So when we talk about quality locally and standards, for standards we are looking at both on a national level and also on a regional level and also international level. So what we are looking at is the partnership with these institutions to help companies improve and move together well.
Edna, Dr. Mattress, briefly share with us what you think should be the priorities going forward.
Before I come to the negative, I would like to say a few positive points.
Sure.
I've been part of the three world, if I mention these three worlds as Europe, Turkey. Turkey is in between Europe and Asia, even Africa. And being in Africa, I just want to give a good news to my business colleagues in Rwanda who are venturing into Made in Rwanda. As my co-panelists said, first of all, Rwanda's image out there is amazing. Wherever I go to, when I say I'm associated with Rwanda, the reaction is very good. The good news I want to give is out there in Europe, in Turkey, China, America, all the corners are taken in terms of becoming a brand. It is very difficult to go there and become a brand. But in Rwanda, to start with, you can become a brand. You can influence Rwandese with good quality and reasonable price products. You can benefit from talented labor. Unlike the belief, I believe East Africa has got very good talented labor. As long as the investor or the business owner take responsibility of exposing the talented youth to necessary tools, skills, and broadening their minds. We have experienced this in Kenya, and to start with, we have been in operation for the last 1 week in Rwanda, and we see the same talent, if not better, is available in Rwanda as well. So what I'm saying, in short, is that somebody starting, and preferably a Rwandese, starting any business in Rwanda, in production, as made in Rwanda, has a very big chance. And my second humble advice will be is to work with government institutions very closely. My experience in Kenya, when I started my manufacturing in 2014, the first institution I visited was Kenya Bureau of Standards. I sat down with them and became to know their standards. And I said, I'm not satisfied with that standardifications. I went to America, checked their standardization. I went to UK, checked their standardization. And I said, why not do something better than even America? So we actually produce better mattresses than what they produce in the United States. And this is because we have, this is a very strong argument. I'm saying better in the sense of given the technological advantages and labor advantages they have there, and given the opportunities we have in Kenya and Rwanda, is we from that angle better. But in terms of quality, we are same, not lesser, but same. In some quality is even better. So what I would like to say is that humble advice is, please work with authorities closely. As my co-panelist said, we are not enemies, we are partners. When it comes to Made in Rwanda, realizing that dream, I think the biggest role and responsibility lies with the person who starts it. That person has to become the brand himself or herself, has to become a mentor, become a quality, and move on that. So when you start your business here, your first target should be your employees. Number one priority is to pay your employees well. When you pay your employees well, you have already created a market. If you don't pay your employees well, then before you start your journey, you have already shot your feet. So that should be your biggest responsibility. And you have to educate your employees. You cannot take care of your customers if you don't take care of your employees. It is employees that they see what you do. It is employees that see whether you do a shortcut. It is employees who see if you compromise on quality. So you have to really, really invest in your employees. You have to educate them. You have to broaden their minds, and you have to give them skills, and they become your ambassadors.
Thank you very much, much appreciated. A round of applause to the panelists.
My name is Parastes Nepolo, and I'm from Namibia. A company called Habesha Africa. We signed an MOU with PSF just a month back. Us being here as Namibian is to honor our agreement with PSF to develop African industry. That in short. On the textile industry, I think it's very recommendable, and thank you so much that Rwanda is investing in that industry, because that industry is mostly employing women. And the women, in generally, there are big numbers in Africa. I don't know about Europe. My heart is too much here. So I say, in Namibia, I don't know how far Rwandan went on vocational in terms of textile, because in Namibia, we are doing pretty well. We provide for industry immediately. We don't do higher level, because if you want to develop your industry, you must develop your vocational, because it's the one that answers the question of industrial development immediately. Both short courses and maybe higher certificate. How far maybe you went with that area of the vocational? And generally, I want to recommend Rwandan. You create a brand as a country. That's why we are here. And I would say keep up a good work. We are here to associate ourselves, because we are also a brand as a country, and also as a company, Habesha, to associate ourselves with the right brand, which is Rwanda. So keep it up. And we are here to stay. We have a company called NRG on mechanical and electrical, and our managing director is here. We have already opened a business here. We are operating here. We are now two months. We try to assess and assist the mechanical and electrical standard to see how we can help, and also pass skill to the necessary youth in Rwanda. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your intervention.
Des noms, je réponds au nom d'Emmanuel Ndakala. Je suis vice-président de la Chambre du commerce de la province du Sud Kivu en RD Congo. Par rapport aux exposés, je peux prendre ça en général, par rapport à nos 5 représentants. Je crois que la vision de l'Afrique doit être unique. nous devons réfléchir pas pour les Rwandais, nous devons réfléchir pour l'Afrique, parce que le marché est africain. Et en vous écoutant parler, c'est comme si vous parlez du Rwanda. Ce que j'ai comme observation, c'est celle-ci. Nous pensons que quand on présente les marchés rwandais à l'équivalence des marchés occidentaux, américains, japonais, tout ce qu'on peut dire, ce qui fait à ce que nous devons prendre en considération dans tout ce que nous pouvons mettre en place comme projet, nous, Africains, que nous avons 80% de la population qui vit dans la pauvreté. Et quand nous sommes en train d'innover, nous devons innover à la politique d'amont et en aval pour voir qu'est-ce que la grande classe peut acheter, qu'est-ce que la classe moyenne peut acheter et qu'est-ce que les pauvres que nous avons peuvent acheter. Si nous réfléchissons sur les 3 articles, nous pouvons réussir. J'ai dit et je vous remercie.
Merci beaucoup.
My question goes to the Naibu, maybe, or the other person who is closer to him, might help us. From Adam, we say that one thing we need to make our product to be quality is to educate our employees. I would like to ask you from people from Naibu, like which else do you think that people from people who are doing business from agriculture, where they can put more focus so that they can produce quality and they reach a level of exporting? Thank you.
My name is Professor Tombola Gustave. I'm the Deputy Vice Chancellor of UTB. It's a kind of comment. The comment goes to the Vice President of the Chamber of Commerce in DRC, South Kivu, and also will go to Dr. Mattress. Maybe starting from the remark from Dr. Mattress, who started by saying that the quality, when he started in Kenya, he went to visit US, UK, to know what is the standardization. This shows that when he came to Rwanda, even the production is not for Rwandan. Then I'm linking with what the Vice President of the Chamber of Commerce from South Kivu was asking. The production is for quality, and quality has no limit, has no boundaries. If the product is of quality, number one, you need to know who is your target. As he said, there should be for those wealthy, those who are in the average wealth and low income. These are Rwandan products which are aiming at being exported, as from Naib, the way he said, being exported, as well as being sold within the country. I think quality is not for Rwandan, only for Rwandan market. It's for the worldwide market. That was the comment I wanted to share with you. Thank you.
As he said, the market is not Rwanda. Made in Rwanda is not for Rwanda. Made in Rwanda is for the world. Yeah? But then how do you become brand? You become brand with Rwandese. Rwandese have to consume your goods, right? And they have to carry your goods out. Now, what is the advantage in Rwanda when you are producing? The advantage in Rwanda, if you get world quality accepted by the world, and pass the quality to your employees, employees become your consumers, employees become your ambassadors, and those employees here, the cost of those employees compared to the cost of the rest of the world where we target for export is 1/3. Right? But that 1/3, what you are paying here, is already 2 times, 3 times of the market value here. So you are enabling your employee to purchase your goods. At the same time, you are having a competitiveness edge towards the first world market. Then you are able to export your goods from made in Rwanda to the rest of the world. I think that should be the target of Made in Rwanda.
Thank you very much.
There was a question by a young lady who is in the candle industry, and I really encourage her to grow her business. We are there to support wherever she may need support from us. However, she requested what areas would be of interest within the agriculture value chains for exports. Now, depending, I wouldn't want to use this opportunity to be, to prescribe what you should grow, what you should process, and what you should export. Good innovators always find where they have capability to be able to be different from other people. What we can do as NAEB is sit with you and go through the different options that you have available. And what we can do is provide information that can help you make a decision. The opportunities are there, and those that are engaged are doing well. So wherever you feel that you may be lacking information, we can help you with the information that we have, or even get that information wherever it is. So, but in terms of what the opportunities are, value addition in what we are producing in the country, there are great opportunities there. When we look at the regional market today, is really being driven by what is being added value in Rwanda, and that is what Dr. Matres was talking about. What we've been successful in producing for the domestic market is now finding its way into the regional market. And that builds on to maybe something that the CEO of PSF said earlier on today. They've created a company that is aggregating Rwandan products and working collectively to get these products into the regional markets. So innovations like that, yes, in the beginning there are teething issues that they will have to overcome, but by coming together, you can be able to aggregate risks that would otherwise be too much for one person or one individual farm. So the opportunities are there, but we have to engage to understand what is where do you have comparative advantage, and how we can help you to invest in that.
Thank you very much, my brother from Namibia. Maybe I will start by bringing the big picture of the textile industry in Rwanda, in Africa, and the world. The textile industry in Rwanda, like I started with, is we are looking at doing 65 million garments. That is for Rwandese. In terms of value, it's about $220 million per year, of which 95% of this is imported. In terms of employment capability, if you are to take away the 65 million garments imported, and they are done in Rwanda, you need 250,000 employees. If you put in terms of value, if these garments were to be stitched in China, we would be paying $0.50 per garment, which is about $32 million alone. Would be paying either to China, to India, or any other part of the world we are importing from. So the strategy of government strategy of looking at this sector as a private sector was the employment capabilities and potential to reduce even our gap of imports. We are importing the garments and importing the labor. So if we start with the stitching, then we are taking away the $32 million without saying. It goes to the pockets of Rwandese, the exchange loss, and the the purchasing power of the Rwandese. On the capacity building, government has put in place what we call TVET, which are technical institutions. They train people from senior 3 level, senior 6, but mostly that level of senior 3, because when you train somebody from senior 6, he will take the course for 6 months, and meanwhile will be called for university. But then, having said that, we still have a gap. When these people have done their training at the TVET, they are also placed at factories for internship or for upgrading their skills. But then the gap we have is the technical experts, people who train the designs, production processes, and these are the people we are looking for from developed world. But now that we have a partner who is African, we would have loved to meet you and talk extensively. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Julie, I think there was no specific question, but please use this opportunity to make one very brief closing remark. And then, since you're the only lady, you'll be the only person to do that on the panel here. Thank you very much. Please carry on.
What I can conclude with is that as we continue to work together with the government institutions and the private sector, let's try to identify the gaps, and let's find what is needed, and together we can work together to find the solutions. I wanted to, I forgot to mention, is the gap to do with sharing information. For example, when it comes to standards, maybe it would be good if the institution in charge can be able to share, for example, the East African standard that was drafted, so that companies can know what is going on. In that way, we can be able to move together. Thank you
very much. Like I said, all the sessions are interlinked. The discussions are all pulling in the same direction. Thank you very much, our panelists. A round of applause, please, for our panelists.
So, like I said, my name is Arthur Simwe. I head the National Public Broadcaster. I'll happy to be your moderator this morning for the second session that is going to look at, I think it's connected to what I've been discussing, connected to the earlier topic. So for us to be able to have a nice discussion, we have a group of eminent personalities, people that have experience in different fields. I want to invite the CEO of RDB, Claire Kamanzi, to join us on the stage. Please, a round of applause for her. I want to invite Honorable Prote Musoni, the chairperson of Pan-African Rwanda chapter, to join us on stage. I wish to invite Sina Gerard, the founder, CEO, PDG, chairman of Nyirangarama Group, to join us. I wish to invite the CEO of Brairua, to join us on stage. Thank you so much. And finally, but more important, the DG in Minicom. DG in Minicom to also join us. Thank you. Claire, the Made in Rwanda initiative intends to grow our domestic manufacturing base. It intends to increase on our export base. That's cutting down on the trade deficit. It intends to basically increase local manufacturing. And this is something that we have been talking for the last 4 or 5 years. So what does the current situation read like? How far have we failed? How far have we fared in terms of building a brand, making sure to have a diversity of brand? How have we fared along the way?
Let me start by thanking the PSF for organizing this session. I think the first evidence of progress that has been made about Made in Rwanda is that we're in a room full of business people talking about Made in Rwanda. I think that's the first milestone. Secondly, the fact that there is an expo that is dedicated to Made in Rwanda and it's full of business people exhibiting something is another milestone. Also this morning at RDB, we had a staff meeting. And usually when we have our staff meetings, we allow business people to come and sell their products to our staff. Today it was marathons that came. And they were trying to sell their phones, and they said the most important reason why you should buy a phone from marathons is that it's made in Rwanda. So I think that even before we even go into the tangible numbers or looking at how we are doing as a country, I think the fact that Made in Rwanda is something that everyone knows about. It's a grand brand that is easily recognized today. I meet some people who come to visit us at RDB and they say, we must number Made in Rwanda. You'd think Made in Rwanda is a fashion design. I think that awareness of what Made in Rwanda is, but also the pride that people get about Made in Rwanda is a very important milestone since the policy was put in place. Even to have people like Arthur very proud that they're wearing Made in Rwanda, I think is a very, very big milestone. Secondly, I think we're also becoming globally recognized as a country that makes things. I was very proud beginning of this year when CNN ran a story about Rwanda's budding fashion industry. And we had people like House of Tayo, we had Motions, and many others being featured on a global TV like CNN because something that they're offering is recognizable and competitive at the global market. So I think that's, again, another milestone. But I also think another key milestone on the intangibles is that today, when you talk about Made in Rwanda, it's not kitenge. I think for a very long time, Made in Rwanda equaled kitenge, This is Made in Rwanda. But my handbag that I left there, that very nice handbag from Kate Spade, is Made in Rwanda. The phones that Marathons was selling to Rwandans today at RDB is Made in Rwanda. We have cars, Volkswagen, that is Made in Rwanda. We have electric motorbikes that are Made in Rwanda by Ampersand and also Isafi. So I think the product range, whether it's goods or whether it's services, we have applications that are Made in Rwanda, like Tap and Go, like many others, Zirembo, that are Made in Rwanda. So I think the second milestone, apart from the awareness and brand value, is the fact that the product range has changed over time. And we can talk about more high-value products as a country.
By the way, Claire, sorry to cut you short. Is there a difference between Made in Rwanda and assembled in Rwanda?
Assembling is one type of making. So when you assemble, it's one stage of making in Rwanda. I know that debate has been ongoing. But yes, assembling is also Made in Rwanda. And Made in Rwanda is across different value chains, and assembling is one of them.
Great.
Now, when it comes to numbers and trade deficit, the government of Rwanda did this because we wanted to improve our trade deficit. If you look at the first years, between 2014 and 2017, there was a clear increase of about 43% on the substitution of imports. We had a bit of an increase in 2018, mostly driven by capital goods equipment. We had big projects like the airport, like Kigali Arena, that required us to import a lot more than we usually did. So it drove the import bill high in 2018. But if you look at the structure of the import bill again, and you look at the consumer products, like clothing, flour, food processed products, you see that those consumer products have actually really reduced, and you can see a direct correlation with Made in Rwanda. So yes, I think the milestone is there. I think Made in Rwanda is working, and I think we should all be very proud to promote it even further. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you so much. Let me ask quickly a follow-up question. We're talking about mindset changes. But clearly, mindset changes comes along with affordability of products. Yes, Made in Rwanda, before we know it equals Jitenge, but now there's a diversity. But still, the outcry out there on the streets is that, our products are quite expensive for the common man on the streets. How do we begin talking about changing our minds to consume our local products when affordability is a key issue? How do we even begin such a conversation?
I think there are two parts to that. The first part is, yes, we have to work on affordability. And some of the products that are made in Rwanda are very niche. They are very expensive. To get a shirt from Motions, I'm sure Arthur had to cough some good amount of money. But we also have other products that are not high-end. We also have, I saw that at the current expo, there's this company, Apparel AMG. Are they here? Yeah, they're also trying to fill that gap. I see one of the ladies is putting up their hands. They're actually trying to fill the affordability gap. We have pink mango that came also really at an affordable range. And so we're beginning to see mixes of the niche, very high-end fashion designs, but also those that are attracting a lower end of the market, or maybe affordable end of the market. But even phones, the Mara phones cost between $130 and $190. Okay. That, compared to Samsung and iPhones that most of you are carrying, is very affordable. But compared to Techno, it's probably not affordable. It's a mid-range affordability. So the idea for us is to be able to attract both high-end and affordable end of the market for products. But that said, there are things that we need to do also to increase affordability. We know that cost of importing raw materials remains to be a big challenge. Availability of those raw materials in Rwanda, but also the cost of bringing them from outside is a very high cost input. And a lot of work is being done in terms of promoting bulk importation so that you can negotiate better prices. We've done a lot of policy changes, including exemptions on imports to bring raw materials cheaper. We've identified source markets where we've sent people to go and look at cheaper products. So a lot of work is being done to address the issue of raw materials, but it remains a very important cost driver.
Great, great. A gentleman that is into the business of producing local products, and I'll go to the CEO of Brairua. I mean, for me, I don't think Brairua has an issue of mindset when it comes to consumption of your products. I think Primus meeting, sales like hotcake. I don't think you have any issues. But I know recently it started manufacturing like Heineken, and there are some stereotypes on the market. Some people are saying, this Heineken does not taste like the one from Amsterdam. Do you have such issues? Or do you have any concerns about mindsets and consumption of your products?
Yes, Bralirwa has been and is a household name. Wherever you go in Rwanda, you hear about it. As much as Rwanda is working hard to compete internationally, we also compete for Rwanda. And the reason why I'm saying this is that, we have shareholders, and our main investor is Heineken. And Heineken has, many countries in the world. And they could actually put their money anywhere in the world. And our job here in Rwanda is to convince Heineken to actually bring the investment into Rwanda. But that comes with a lot of expectations, because any investor is looking for a return on investment. And you prepare your business case and sell it to them, and then you get your funds, and you go into investment. And then, there is a result that is expected. But the question is, we can grow more, we can do more. And to do that, for us, our participation is not just in just brewing beer and packaging and selling, or soft drinks and packaging them and selling. So we touch every value chain. We start from the farm, we go all the way to the bar. And what do I mean? Because when you talk about made in Rwanda, it's not just about exporting. It's also import substitution. Oh, yeah. And we are engaged in farming. We are growing maize, and we are also trying barley. And barley is not so big in Rwanda, but we are working on that. I also enjoyed the person from Dr. Mattress. It's not just about volume and making money, but it's also training people, because Rwandans are, this country has a fantastic workforce, at any level. The quality of work that we see here, because I've been around Africa, me coming from Ethiopia, and then, I've been around 31 countries in Africa, and I've worked with many countries. And I can tell you the quality of work and dedication that I see here in Rwanda, and the appetite for growth in Rwanda is amazing.
Usually people say we don't have skilled labor here. Yeah. That's a key issue. So I'm surprised that you're saying that.
It's all about, making people believe in what they have. When you do that, you see magic here in Rwanda. You empower them, you show them, and you empower them, and they do a fantastic job. So for us, yes, we start from, we touch every level of the value chain, and we are involved in the brewing, in the we start from the farming, but in the brewing, in the packaging, in the distribution, in the marketing, and in the selling of all the products that we have. Do we have challenges? Yes, but challenges are what make us very strong.
Let me go to Sina Gerard. Sina, uri umuntu wumvise njyango bino bintu bya made in Rwanda mbere y'abandi. Utangira product nyinshi cyane, akabanga keza, the portfolio is too big. Watubwira urugendo maze kugenda ingorwahizi mwahuye nazo, ariko cyane cyane iyo urebye ejo hazaza ubona hameze hati, ushingiye kuri iyi campaign yatangiye ya Made in Rwanda, iyo ubonye ejo hazaza hameze hati nk'umuntu wimazemo igihe kinini?
Iyo numvise ijambo Made in Rwanda numva ari umunezero kandi umpa icyizere cy'ejo hazaza. Nkurikije experience mfite n'ibyo maje kugeraho n'ejo hazaza, Made in Rwanda nyihera ku muturage uyu nguyu mbona ufite amikoro make cyane, nkakorana nawe, azamuka nkongera nkakorana n'undi muyobozi w'ikirenga, umukire w'ikirenga, nawe nkakorana nawe, cyane cyane ko akabanga karaduhuza. Nkatekereza nanone kuri buri munyarwanda kugira ngo icyo nkora, umurimo nkora we kuzasaza, akora product zinyuranye. Hari ukoresha urwo rusenda, ariko hari ukoresha agashya gakomoka ku matunda nayo n'abaturage, aho uramutse umeze neza cyangwa unarwaye ariko ntubure product zituruka muri entreprise Sina Gerard Rwibutso. Abari mu munezero basanzwe bafata agashya, naravutse nsanga na Yezu diva yazenga, ako nakarusho gakomoka ku bitoki by'abanyarwanda. Ariko nza gutekereza noneho ku bazungu b'abanyaburaya bose twicaranye, ashobora kuza mu gihugu cyacu agashidikanya wenda ku bitoki n'akarusho kabo. Icyo cyatumye mpinga imizabibu, nkuramo divayi. Divayi ikomoka ku mizabibu ikoreshwa ku isi hose. Iryo soko nkaba ndiriho, aho kugira ngo umuzungu azanye amakarito yo kugira ngo azajya akoresha ageze ino, ahubwo azana amadolari, nanjye nkibonamo wongera amadovize mu bandi banyarwanda. Mu rwego rwo kureba kure, dufite urubyiruko, kurwanya ubushomeri, ejo hazaza bizagenda bite, turakora ariko turagenda tuvamo. Ibyo ni ibihe bisanzwe, bavuga ngo uko ibihe bihora bisimburana iteka. Byatumye nshinga College Fondation Sina Gerard. Iryo ni ishuri ryigisha abanyarwanda mpereye muri gardienne primaire secondaire. Ndavuga ngo ese uko umukuru w'igihugu avuga ngo uwashoboye kugera ku ruganda cyangwa we kubaka igipangu, gushyiraho za senyenge ngo be kureba imbere, bene kumenya n'icyo ukora, kandi ahubwo mu rwego rwo kumva ufite umutekano nuko usangira ibyo ukora nabo muturanye. Abana bo muri gardienne primaire bose entreprise Urwibutso irabishyurira, nta wishyura minerivare. Tuba dufite abana bagera muri 600 ku mwaka. Ishuri ubwaryo rimaje kugera ku bana 1800, kandi noneho gutsinda ikizamini cya leta numva nezerewe kuko baragitsinda 100% bitewe n'impamvu babwira uko biga. Hari amahirwe dufite tugomba gukoresha nk'abanyarwanda, ayo nagezeho ndayakoresha. Niba mfite uruganda rukora agashya gakomoka ku buhinzi, amatunda, inkeri, inanasi, n'ibyo by'urusenda n'ibindi, hagira uruganda rukora amazi, akandi hagira uruganda rutunganya amafu akomoka kuri ibi binyampeke dufite. Nashyize mu ishuri ryanjye muri College Fondation Sina Gerard harimo section y'ubuhinzi. Abana ntabwo basaba stage, ibyo ni Made in Rwanda. Made in Rwanda ntabwo ari ukurya no kunywa no kwambara gusa, ahubwo nubaka no mu bwenge, n'urundi ruganda rwubaka ubwenge bw'umunyarwanda, aho umwana yiga akiga ubuhinzi, umusaruro awujyana mu ruganda yibonera, kandi twarangiza kuruhindura twongeye agaciro, nabwo tugashyira muri za alimentation zikwiriye mu gihugu mu mpande zose, tujyana mu mashami kugira ngo wa mwana abone aho amafaranga ava, n'inzira binyuramo, nazasohoka arangije ye kugenda hanze avuga ngo arashaka akazi, ahubwo akabaza uburyo akitangira.
Sinareka no guca mu ijambo, ariko nkubaza akabazo kandi gato cyane. Izi brands zose ufite nyinshi cyane, agashya, akarusho, akabanga, akandi,
akaryoshye,
akacu,
akiwacu, iyo ni A.
Ubona bitaba byinshi cyane bigatuma utatana ingufu, aho kugira ngo wenda uvuge tuti ushyize effort nyinshi cyane ku bintu nka bibiri bitatu byakorwa neza, ukazamura brand, ukazamura qualité. Iyo ushyize muri ibi byose usanga bidatatana ingufu wari ufite.
Icyo kibazo ubajije ni cyiza. Ngira ngo abafite mobile phone hano mwese wavuga ko ayikoresha ibyo ikora akaba yarayirangije mu mwari yayo, yaba ari bakeya.
Uranshubije. Honorable Prote, as a chairperson of the Pan-African movement, Pan-African movement was born at the birth of the independence of Africa, which is almost 60 years ago. And 60 years after Africa's independence, we are here again discussing about produce Africa, made in Africa, consume Africa. Don't you think we have seriously failed the founders of this great continent? Don't you think we have failed the founders of the likes of Nyerere, Kwame Nkrumah, who had very strong aspirations for the future of Africa?
I think I can answer it in two ways, yes and no. So I will start with yes. When you talk about Nyerere, you talk about Nkrumah and the likes, who really championed the Pan-African idea of creating a united Africa, an integrated Africa, a prosperous Africa, and a peaceful Africa. And you look at now and you see we haven't got there yet. They may be disappointed, especially when you have the vision and the passion for it. Chances are you're also impatient to arrive at it. And so they would be disappointed. But at the same time, I would say no, for a number of reasons. I'm sure where Nyerere is now, or Nkrumah and our forefathers, I think they are now wiser than they were when they were here. Don't say they are dead. They are still there, and they're not wiser. I think now they understand the bonds, the ropes that tied the African mind from, as you remember, during colonialism, Sina couldn't make a kabang. It was you shouldn't. You should only buy what comes from our industries. From you shouldn't, the mind comes, I can't. Now, to reverse that one, to reverse the mind to the point of saying, by the way, I rediscover myself, I can. And then you commit, I will. And then you do. It takes quite a range of time. And I'm glad if Nyerere and Nkrumah were in this forum, they will say, the African mind has moved on. Then you have the sinners who can make what they had been told not to make. Now they know they can make it. When they hear Claire saying, oh, we can now make a car in Rwanda, assemble, I'm sure soon we shall be going to create one in Rwandan land. And so they will say, yes, the African is moving on, and what we are going to get soon is going to be very interesting. Pan-African and the creation of the African dream has been purely put in the hands of the politician. And I think now the second strand of stress of transformation is business. So it's a business committee now talking to each other. You heard the Congolese saying, don't talk about Rwanda only, produce for Africa. That is interconnecting Africa now. Next time we are going to have businesses and governments creating the infrastructure that's going to connect us. And so I would say, some would say, I'm not disappointed. Africa is moving on and we'll arrive come another 40 years ahead.
Thank you, Honorable, thank you. Let me finally go to my colleague, Mincom, DG from Mincom. Now, when you look at statistics, it shows that almost 95% of our farms are SMEs in Rwanda. And we are here talking about mindset change. We are talking about encouraging people to consume what is produced locally. Already, there's a gap. What are we consuming? If 95% of our farms are SMEs, that means their production capacity is very small, access to finance is very small, access to skills is small, and the production overall, the volumes are quite small. So don't you think we should, even before we think about changing mindsets of the consumers, don't you think we should first address the supply side of things?
Thank you, Arthur. What I would say is that, we should agree that our industrial sector is in its formative stage. It's rebuilding, reforming itself. So, starting from there, well, it's understood that almost 95% are SMEs or even micro. What we're doing as the Minister of Trade and Industry, we are trying to follow up these kind of companies, of these micro and small and medium companies to grow. I know growth is not the only performance indicator. There could be other factors, and it's not even the only motivation. That's why people start companies. But at least to create jobs, we need these companies to grow. So what do we do? There is this kind of thing that they have always complained about, which is the cost of production. We're encouraging these companies, one, to adopt cleaner production, using efficient, at least, equipment. Two, there have been a kind of different incentives, to help these companies grow. We'll talk of, one, could look at it in terms of accessing finance, but we are helping them to access these equipments that could have been an impediment to them through BDF, and that's leasing. They lease these equipments through BDF, and this all boosts production. Next is that where there is this, though it hasn't been cascaded to each and every industry, but we have reduced electricity tariffs on industries. And of course, if you look at the impact, at least that we have tried to assess, there is, it has helped companies to boost their performance, I would say, financially and also in terms of production. Yeah, I understand, yes, it's very important to start by the supply side, but also it's very important that we don't get stuck into the supply side. We also need to also look at the other side of the market. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, great, thank you.
My name is Martin Semukanya. I'm a local journalist. Especially Ms. Akamanzi, would any other person from the world, would he or she buy any product or service simply because it's made in Rwanda? Because my understanding or my experience is that when you talk about made in Italy, for example, you think about fashion or wine. France is perfumes or something else. Every country has a brand connected to a given product. Now, is made in Rwanda itself a brand? Could we find a brand related to Rwanda? And ngira ngo ikibazo cyasubizwa neza tubonye na experience ya Sina Gerard. Ni ufite kimwe mu bintu bikomeye bicuruzwa mu Rwanda, akabanga. Unfortunately, the journalists we are the less informed people. I only recently learned that akabanga nicyo kintu cya mbere gicuruzwa gikorwa n'umuntu kiri the biggest export cyangwa kigurwa n'abantu hanze. Sina niba abantu bagure ko harimo abanyamahanga benshi, abantu bagura akabanga na abantu bagakundira ko arako mu Rwanda cyangwa hari ibindi wowe uzi wadusangiza. Thank you.
Nitwa Anita Mkandayisenga, nshinzwe ubucuruzi no kumenyekanisha ibikorwa mu ruganda rwa Alpha Cables. Reka mvuge ku nsinga z'amashanyarazi dukora. Twafashe umwanya wo gufata ubundi bwoko bw'insinga z'amashanyarazi buturuka hanze biri ku isoko ryo mu Rwanda, turabupimisha dusanga umubare munini muri wo ntabwo wujuje ubuziranenge. Kandi buri nyubako yose ibaho ijyaho insinga z'amashanyarazi nta nubwo ziba zigize 1% y'ibigize, ariko zishobora guteza impanuka yatuma ihanagura ibyo byose byagiye kuri izo nsinga. Tukaba twifuza ngo twafashwa kureba izo nsinga zitujuje ubuziranenge, ahari twaza provinga n'uburyo twabibonyemo, tukerekana ibisubizo n'ibyo twakuye muri RSB kugira ngo icyo kibazo gikemuke, kuko abazicuruza n'abazigura bose ntago babizi.
Murakoze cyane, nize ko abantu ba RSB barahanga bashobora gusubiza.
Yego, ikindi nshaka kuvugaho nuko twatangiye gusohora ibicuruzwa byacu ku isoko ryo hanze y'u Rwanda. Barabishima, quality ni nziza n'ibicuruzwa n'ibishiro ni byiza, ariko igisubizo kirangira kukubaza ati se izi nsinga harya zikorerwa he? Ukamubwira ati zikorerwa mu Rwanda, aho umuntu acika intege umureba kuko uvuze ko zikorerwa mu Rwanda.
Okay.
Ni ibintu bibabaje, ngewe nkanye umucuruzi byarambabaje, ariko niba wemera ko quality ikintu ari nziza n'ibiciro ari byiza, aho gikorerwa nta kintu by'affecting na kimwe.
Urakoze cyane.
My name is Gaudens Kanamugire. I'm the CEO of MU Insurance, formerly Phoenix, and I'm also the chairperson of the Association of Insurance. My question goes to Claire and Minicom Director. Made in Rwanda aims at easing our trade deficit, and if you look at the imports in the country, at least 1% goes to purchase of insurance on imports, marine insurance, goods in transit, and all these services are purchased outside, and yet we have the services in the country. So why should we be exporting our currency, which we are struggling hard to get, yet we have these services? So my question is to advocate, while policymakers are trying to promote Made in Rwanda, to also look at promoting local services. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
But I think the source of that perception comes from the fact that when foreign investors come to Rwanda, they seem to need a lot of guidance, a lot more than Rwandan local investors. What we've observed is that if, let's say Sina Gerald, if he needs something from Minagri, he won't come to Claire and say, Mfasha, tujende kwa Minagri. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But Sina Gerald is somebody who, if you pick the call, and Minister of Agriculture would know who Sina Gerald is. So there are many local investors who kind of don't take RDB as something they must work with because they're local, they know all the institutions. While a foreign investor, if they want to meet RRA, they come to RDB. If they want to know how much it costs to hire a local person, they come to RDB. So they really demand services from RDB, and then it appears as if we work with them a lot more than we do the private sector. But that's not true. Our incentives, our services are for both local and foreign investors. Okay. Now, the questions were all very similar. I probably answer them with one response. The questions were about standards and quality. I think Martin asked, will somebody buy a product made in Rwanda just because it's made in Rwanda? Definitely no. We derive a lot of pride in being able to make things in Rwanda and to be able to leave, those jobs in the country, to be able to leave the foreign exchange earnings that we need to buy things from abroad by producing what we can in the country. It's a source of a lot of pride, but it's not enough. That source of pride, I think when it comes to quality and standards, patriotism is not enough. I think we like to make products by our people, but we must work very hard to make sure that they're competitive. The quality has to be competitive, and the standards have to be competitive. And this is why we work very hard with, several business people to train, to expose them. We take them to trade fairs. Those who want to go for fashion show, for example, have come to us. We've supported them because we want them to get to that global stage and be competitive. Somebody should come to Rwanda and buy something because they really think it's very nice, not just because it's made in Rwanda. I was very happy recently to see the First Lady of Namibia, for example, wearing Motion's jacket. I'm sure she bought it because she liked it. She looked at the motions jacket and it appealed to her. It was of good quality and good standard. So we have to work very hard to raise the bar when it comes to quality and also standards. Now, the other comment about the lady who from Alpha Cables, that when you say the cables are made in Rwanda, there's a bit of disappointment. That is the path that we have to go through in order to become known globally. People don't know that Rwanda makes cables yet. But the more we make products and the more we compete, the more we'll be known as a country that makes products that are of good quality. So if it's the first step, second step, please let's work towards addressing that. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we were not known for the kind of things we are known today as a country. Our brand as a country is a place that's easy to do business, safe, secure, clean. All those were things that we built over time, and it became a brand that we are known for. So even for Made in Rwanda, we are starting. It's the first few years of the policy. We have to work hard to make sure that we earn the trust and the confidence of the market. It will take a lot of hard work. Being made in Rwanda is not enough. We have to work on quality and on the standards as well.
Great. Thank you, Claire. Sina, icyo ushaka kuvuga ku byo bakubajije?
Bambajije impamvu akabanga bagakunda bakagura tese nuko ari made in Rwanda cyangwa n'iki, kandi ntabwo byo kuba ari made in Rwanda niho ku isoko, ariko made in Africa noneho byarangiza bigakwira isi yose. Impamvu rero ndabivuga kujuje ubuziranenge, ko ntabwo nagakuriye mu Rwanda ngo kijyane gusa, nanjye ngiramo uruhare. Mfashijwe na RDB, mfashijwe na RSB, mfashijwe na Minicom n'ibigo byose. Cyane cyane ndavuga kwitabira amamurikagurisha abera hanze. Ubwo nari New York, twararebye mu nsenda zavuye muri Aziya, muri Afurika hose, ariko akabanga gafite uko gateye kwako. So ukareba mu maso gusa, ni abahanga bajyana muri laboratoire zabo bagahita babona amarizita babona. Icyo ngicyo gituma abanyamerika bakabona kugeza ubwo dufite umunyamerika ufite igibari kimwemera kugatwara mu ndege katamuva iruhande. Icyo ngicyo kimubundi uburenganzira. Kukagura rero, iyo ufite umushinga barakubaza ngo imbogamizi ni izihe. Hari ikitari imbogamizi gisaba kwigisha. Iyo ubona ntabwo babirebye gusa ngo bibe bigenda bucece, bampereza igikombe iyo ngiye ari kibura yari cy'Ubwongereza he kuko bashimye karite. Iyo ujya kuguruka menya ko ikintu kiva mu maboko y'abaturage, iyo ukigura iyo ugitanze uzi neza ko urimo kubaka isi, ntabwo ari ukubaka igihugu gusa. Aho ngaho rero iyo babonye ibisobanuro kandi tuba twabitanze, azi neza ko amafaranga ashobora kukabanga, abazi ko ashobora mu gihugu cy'u Rwanda ariko isi yose muri rusange. Noneho wagera no kuri ba bana, aho nifuriza ko kampani nyinshi zagira udushami tw'amashuri bakagaragaza inyungu bakishema, ariko bakunganira igihugu mu burezi twifuza, kugira ngo ejo tuzasiga igihugu cy'abanyabwenge cy'abahanga, tekinoloji zose ntiziduceho, maze made in Rwanda ikaba ari made in Rwanda koko.
Urakoze cyane, urakoze cyane. CEO Brera, I think there's a question asked you.
Yeah, the gentleman who asked this, who said that, the European countries are known for, for what they are. If we talk about Italy, it would be fashion, or France for perfume, etc., etc. But these people have started some time ago. And it's also, this shows you the power of marketing. When you tell people over and over and over again that if you want good perfume, it's from France, then you don't have to be an expert to understand that, perfume is, the best perfume is from France. So we have to market ourselves. We have to actually go out and sell ourselves and show to the world that we have quality and we can do quality. This is, what makes a brand what it can become. The other thing is that, every Rwandan has to really take it up to him to, be an ambassador of made in Rwandan products. Really be proud of what Rwanda is producing, whether it's a local brand or an international brand, really believing in the quality of that, because I can tell you in my own context, when we produce Heineken in Rwanda, it is under a strict standard, quality standard. We cannot just create a standard for our own and produce Heineken. So it's all about, believing in that, understanding that we are, a source of quality, we believe in ourselves, and also help the government of Rwanda or any association of Rwanda or any company of Rwanda. So it's a matter of time, but you'll see strength, and the Rwandan wave will start being felt everywhere else.
Fair enough. Charity begins at home. DG, you asked I think a question also.
Someone raised a question on unfair competition, particularly arising from substandard imports. Well, that's something to do with the standards, and to me it sounds more of it's even a crime, I would say, if it's substandard, and then that has to be addressed by some competent organization, authorities. But I also need to reiterate that, well, I understand, as you mentioned, that 95% of our companies, most of them are SMEs, but also they need to put in much effort into marketing their products, I think. At least this is where it had to start from. Even though, as a ministry or the government, we are doing the awareness campaigns for the Made in Rwanda, but those companies, I think, to some extent, they should also try to be very aggressive in marketing their products. Yeah, thank you.
Mindset twavuze ya myemerere ntituyitwara nk'akantu gatoya, kandi dukwiriye guhaguruka kuko tukarwanya imyemerere dufite yuko ibikorewe muri Afurika ari bibi. Ejo bundi naguze inkweto hari Agatsibo, mpuye n'umuntu ati iyo nkweto nziza wayikuye hehe? Ninayiguze Gatsibo. Turabeshya. Mu myemerere yacu tuzi ibyo dukora bigomba kuba bibi, kandi ibyo babidushyizemo kugira ngo babone isoko ry'ibintu byabo bitandukanye n'ibyo dukwiriye kuba twikorera. Tugomba rero gushyira gahunda ikomeye kugira ngo duhindure iyo myumvire, iyo myemerere. Iyo wemera ikintu cyose kiza mu mvugo, tubihindure rero, nitujya duhuganira tujye tuvuga ngo iki ni cyiza, ni icy'u Rwanda, ni cyiza, ni icy'Afurika. Nibwo tuzongera tukabona rya soko ryadukuweho yuko ryaragiye. Iyo mu mutwe wangenze ngo nimpura n'icy'u Rwanda, n'icya Uganda, n'icya Kongo ni kibi, isoko rindimo narihaye uwo hanze. Tugomba rero kugarura mu mitekerezo no mu mvugo, iyo nayo n'indi gahunda tugomba gushyiraho, kandi Pan African Movement nayo ibifite mu migambi yayo, kugira ngo kuko umuntu atangiye kumva ngo ishema rya Afurika n'ishema ry'u Rwanda rizaba isoko ryacu.
Urakoze cyane Honorable Protais. Kugira icyizere. But let's keep it short for us to be able to serve more people. Yeah?
Yes, please. Yeah. My name is Adnan Mardin, again, Dr. Matters. I think the producers, first of all, the mindset of the producer is the one which should be changed. The producer should come up with the idea and then make that idea to go with the lowest price, highest quality, lowest price to the consumer. And for that, the entrepreneur or the owner of the business has to sacrifice. Now, what I see, my own experience is that people want to get the payment back in the next few years. You cannot become a brand. I see somebody is already thinking buying a Land Cruiser. Yeah, and that's the mindset again. You know, we need to change that mindset. So we in our own business, we just bought a machine for amounting to Land Cruiser, and that machine gave us 20 Land Cruisers. So this is what I want to say to fellow entrepreneurs in Rwanda. It needs a lot of sacrifice.
That's very good. That's very good
yes,
comment.
and then last one is that again, you don't expect things from the government until you are born, your product is born, it becomes a child, and it's going to run. Then you go to the government and say, look, I have done it. Now I need your support.
Very good, very good.
My name is Benjamin Gassamagera, and I'm the CEO of Safari Center. And we are involved in manufacturing. The comment I wanted to make is on the cost of production. I think really we need to work together strategically, because this can boost even that mindset and that confidence. Because
the DJ of Minicom talked about 95% of our companies are SMEs. They don't do marketing enough. But if them also, they could tell you how hard it is to put the product on the market and the cost which is involved is really, I think we need to strategize on that, and that can boost, can solve many things. I want to give a short example of the study we made in transportation, in forwarding. From Mombasa in the Northern Corridor, in PSF, we made once a study on NTBs. I'm sure some of the people here know about that study, but when we made the study, the cost of transportation of one container, 40 feet, from Mombasa to Kigali, at that time, it was about 7,000 to 8,000. But because of the results of that study, and that policymakers, private sector, and other strategic partners saw the case that it was very high, they put the efforts together to solve that problem. It dropped from 8,000 to 4,000.
So putting resources together.
Yes, in the days, we were spending 2 to 3 weeks from Mombasa to Kigali. It dropped to less than a week. So if you can do that continuously in manufacturing sector to follow up on the cost of production in strategic, instead of, having that blaming game that the private sector.
I think your comment is understood.
Okay.
But let me just add that the worry that people have about accessing markets abroad and mindset change. Let me say that mindset abroad there has already changed, and they're ready to embrace products coming from Rwanda. Why do I say this? Especially with horticulture, agricultural products, when you export things abroad there, they look at Rwanda as a new origin. That alone is a winner. So let's look at it as an advantage, and there are many reasons why. Because we have not used a lot of chemicals, fertilizer, pesticides, so we have an advantage. And the shelves of supermarkets, when they bring something new that is unique, that is exotic, that is not Kenya, it's not Egypt, it's Rwandan, it's a plus. So for those who say that some people get disappointed because you say this is from Rwanda and it's not known, those are some tricks with some businessmen who want something good on the cheap. But I think you have to stand your ground. But also let me just add that regarding marketing, we have an advantage with e-commerce. You can go there and talk about your product. We don't deny that they should give RBS some money for marketing, but also they should do that. But also marketing online, telling a story, talking about the impact you have on the farmers, all those add to what you can do. And we have a good environment so that it's easy to achieve what we want. So let's embrace it. Let's know that out there things are working and waiting for us to put our things on the market. Thank you.
Thank you, Faustin. I think Faustin has given us a very good summary of what needed to be done. And I think because of time, I am going to come back to my panel.
Benjamin raised an issue of how we could work together, or even follow up these SMEs, as he has just raised up, on the cost of production. Of course, the cost of production is, I would say, it involves a lot of stuff. So we need to, as you say, I agree that we need to come forward to each other, and then we see how we could, sort out what's not going on well. I think, as per now, that's what I can comment, at least. Yeah, thank you.
It's all about working together. Us as companies, and for example, Bralirwa, we've been here for the last 60 years. And we are indeed, a symbol of success here in Rwanda. And we can still do a lot in really, marketing Rwanda out there, to the rest of the world. At the same time, if we work together with RDB and Minicom and the rest of government institutions, we can actually, do a much better job. And we can support in communication, and we can, we have marketing experts who can actually support that. But at the same time, we also need to be supported, and motivated, because the scale with which we are in is quite a heavy scale. And then how can we continue to do well and invest and attract more multinationals into Rwanda, because we don't want to be alone here. We want more people, more companies, more international investors to come and join us and help us build Rwanda with Rwandans.
Thank you so much.
Ariko noneho ngaruke ku byo nyakubahwa Musoni yavuze, ngejo twarahuye nyine nzenguruka isi nivugira ikinyarwanda n'igifaransa n'igiswahili gike kiringaniye icyonzi nivugira, ariko nshaka kuvuga ubwenge n'ibitekerezo nyabyo ngarutse mu rurimi rwanjye mbivuga ntaterwa. Bampaye urugero ko mwicaye hano mwese umuntu aje akagukanga uvuga ururimi rwawe uvukamo mbere yo kuza kuzana izindi. Aho ngaho niho nzi. Aba nishimira rero uyu mwanya mwatanze, nakurikiye ibiganiro byose binyoroheye rwose, kubera ko icana mwashyizeho ikinyarwanda. Iyi nama rwose ntabwo sinabonye uko mbishimira, nzi ko ntabona uko mbivuga, ariko iyo niyo made in Rwanda yibanze mu kwigira, aho inama ijyamo kabona ikinyarwanda. Murakoze.
Murakoze cyane. Honorable Musoni.
Pan-African movement twihaye inshingano yo kugira ngo duhindure koko imyemerere idindiza umunyafurika, kandi ni myinshi. Muri uko twubatse rero dufite komisiyo ebyiri ahanini zireba kuri business. Hari imwe ireba kumobiliza, kugira ubukangurambaga mu bikorera, kugira ngo nabo bamenye ngo bakeneye guhinduka mu myemerere n'imyumvire yabo, bakumva yuko abanyarwanda n'abanyafurika baba isoko rikomeye cyane. Nabwo dukangura abakoresha ibyo byakoze, dukoresheje komisiyo yitwa Trade and Commerce. Ahanini n'abashakashatsi dushyira twavuga ngo umunyarwanda kuki Heineken yakorerwaga mu Buholandi yihindukiye igakorerwa mu Rwanda, ari ya Heineken bavuga ngo iyi ntabwo ari nziza nka ya yindi. Iyo abantu rero babiganiriye, ubwo iyo uvuze ngo Heineken yakorewe mu Rwanda kandi bakoresheje formula imwe, uba utangiye kwica isoko, ugishaka rya soko ry'ibyakorewe mu Buholandi, nyamara ari imisoro, ari abakozi bahembwa, nta kamaro biba bagiriye. Dukomeze rero dutere imbere muri ubwo bukangurambaga buganisha guhindura imyumvire y'abanyafurika, nibwo tuzashobora guhahirana bigatera imbere. Murakoze.
Urakoze cyane Prote. So Claire, sum it up and give us a picture of this great initiative called Made in Rwanda. What's the picture in the next 25 years from now?
Okay, so first of all, I think as I said in the beginning, there's a lot of progress that has been made already in Made in Rwanda. I like to think about it like a plane. You have the takeoff phase of the plane, and then you go to a cruise phase. I truly believe that where we've reached with Made in Rwanda, we've surpassed the takeoff stage. We're now approaching the cruise, which is really where the biggest part of the journey always takes. Now, we identified a number of sectors where Made in Rwanda was going to be a priority, whether it's textiles and garments, agro-processing, pharmaceuticals, construction materials, light manufacturing. In each of these areas, you'll find that there are entrepreneurs that have come and invested, and so there's really good progress on where we are starting from. However, for the next 25 years or so, as we develop Made in Rwanda going forward, the number of things we have to really invest in and make sure that we address in order to move forward. I think the first one on quality and standards, that has really been talked about a lot. And yes, Mr. Musoni did mention that we have to change our mindset and believe that the things we make are actually good quality. But also somebody from Dr. Mattress made a point, which I think is also really important. Producers need to also invest in making sure that they make the people trust that they can their mindset will be changed faster if you truly give them a reason that the quality of products that you're selling match their expectations. So we really have to work on both consumers and producers to make sure that we invest in Made in Rwanda. The other component on cost of production that Mr. Gasamajera said, that's really important. For the next few years, we have to make sure that our cost of logistics is comparable to countries like Ethiopia or Kenya. Today, if you look at the cost of transportation, the cost of total logistics, we're still quite expensive. And so addressing cost of logistics, addressing cost of energy, I think we've gotten somewhere with energy with the industrial rate of tariffs, industrial rate of electricity. So addressing each of these costs of production, I think, is going to be a very important part for us to focus on. At RDB, we also support certification. If an SME comes and they can't afford to pay the cost of getting a standard, because we know that's very important, we pay 50% of the cost of getting a certification from RSB. So that's also something that we're really, really working on. But ultimately, I think somebody talked about marketing. Let's work on marketing. Let's work on professionalism. If you make an order and you promise to deliver on a certain date, please make sure that delivery is done on that date. If you promise certain quality, let's be professional and let's make sure that our Made in Rwanda is going to be something someone will talk about Italy or Germany for cars. Let's make sure that Made in Rwanda has that recognition on the market, and I think we're really close to getting there.
So, mwongere mumfashe dushimira abantu batuganirije. Ikiganiro cyakiryoshye cyane ngira ngo.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to a very important session, which is the opening session. I'm going to invite Mr. Robert Bafakurera, the chairman of the Private Sector Federation of Rwanda, for his remarks. Anatwachirire umushitsi wacu mukuru. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, the guest of honor, Honorable CEO of RDB, representatives of the government agencies, development partners, present, PSF board members, the delegates and friends of Rwanda from US, South Africa, Kenya and Namibia, and DRC, our esteemed Golden Circle members, members of the business community, media, fraternity, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Minister, the guest of honor, it is a great honor and privilege for us to have you as the guests, our chief guest, as we launch the first edition of the National Business Forum under the theme, Build Strong Partnerships for Made in Rwanda. The National Business Forum is an initiative conceptualized by the Federation aimed at bringing together industrialists, academia, policymakers, regional business leaders to engage in dialogue, network, share experiences on matters of policy direction and allied issues affecting Rwanda's industrial competitiveness levels, with a sole purpose of finding long-lasting solutions, as the end result should be for local industries recapturing the domestic market. Ladies and gentlemen, this forum will be operational from today, dealing with business issues of national interest, and the optimum of it will be a national conference held annually to ascertain the forum's direction vis-à-vis its effort in assessing business constituents and providing workable solutions in a bid to promote local industries while also learning from best regional practices. This comes at a crucial time when the government has put in place initiatives like Made in Rwanda campaign, with a policy framework in place, streamline legal aspects of the national content under the public procurement procedures. The Made in Rwanda policy is the main course on the menu that is geared towards promoting and triggering consumption of locally produced goods and services and use of local skills and personnel. The success of the Made in Rwanda concept will require us, as the private sector, to position ourselves in terms of increasing productivity, enhancing quality, and adhering to set standards while providing the quality and while providing the best experience a local customer can have. This is the only way captains of industry in Rwanda can alter the perceptions and mindset of Rwandans towards locally produced goods and services. The government has put in place policies where local content is preferred. Therefore, the onus is on us to satisfy the domestic market in terms of quantities and quality without a doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, as a private sector, we are committed to take on opportunities and competitive of national and regional level. We believe that this could be possible if the national content within the relevant legal framework is based on the need to give preference to locally produced goods and services rendered by Rwandan companies. We also believe that under the same spirit of emphasizing on local content, Rwandan companies would be able to build partnerships with regional and international ventures to provide what is not available locally. Through such initiatives, Rwandans would be able to benefit in all spheres, including transfer of knowledge. Further, a mechanism for checking eligibility, monitoring achievement of this requirement of local content could be prescribed by licenses provided by the Federation without any other hurdles to avoid bureaucratic red tapes. These national content initiatives bring Rwanda in sync with other African states that already have national content laws and regulations in place promoting their respective local industries. What perhaps differentiates the various states in how national content is defined and achieved in each of the respective states. In Africa, states such as Kenya, South Africa, Angola, Ghana, Nigeria, and Chad, this seems to be a common underlying theme for national content being the use of local produced goods and services rendered by local indigenous people, although the specific measures for implementation may differ. The policy implications are multiple. The supply side concentrations on the manufacturing sector are well known and include a lack of access to credit, high electricity tariffs, skills shortage, inadequate infrastructure, and weak innovative capacities. In addition, competition in the manufacturing sector has become extremely intense, particularly from emerging markets. Imports from China, India, Europe now constitutes a big percentage of imports. All this implies that stronger manufacturing sector is unlikely to emerge spontaneously unless strategies are developed to incentivize and reduce on the cost of doing business. We believe that the National Business Forum is one of the strategies that will provide a platform for the local players and policymakers to harness efforts in creating a conducive and better environment of doing business that provides tools with competitive edge over the imports flooding our markets. To address the aforementioned constituents, the new industrial policy should be more purposeful, this would require more effective interventions in a host of areas to support the manufacturing sector better among them, catalyzing the development of the industrial parks for light industries, conjuring the banking sector into lending more to the sector, as well as using the development banks more effectively. Elaborating partnership with other African countries to develop regional value chains and industries. Countries in sectors like textiles, agribusiness, pharmaceuticals, automobile, and revitalizing trade policy and a common external tariff so that they support regional industrialization. Vigilance with regard to entering into new trade agreement with other regional blocs that could compromise efforts to industrialize the region could also be put into motion. As I conclude, I would like to thank your leadership. I would like to thank all of you here and the leadership of our President Paul Kagame for spearheading the efforts in identifying markets for Rwandan products beyond borders and building partnership for the private sector to thrive at the international scene. His exemplary and unconditional commitment towards the private sector development cannot go unnoticed whatever. We are humbled and commit ourselves to build on partnerships created to advance the economic agenda of our country and Africa at large. I wish you all fruitful discussions as we try to critically unearth challenges affecting the Made in Rwanda brand, from duration, product development, to the domestic market and export readiness. It is from such discussions that the mantle of actual implementation and creating enabling environment for the Made in Rwanda brand begins. I thank you all. Nagira ngo mvuge ibintu bike amagambo mu Kinyarwanda. Cyambere ndabanza gushimira abantu bose bari kuri pano, hari ibitekerezo byiza batugejejeho ndetse n'abagiye babaza ibibazo bitandukanye, ariko cyane nkuko abantu benshi bagiye babivuga, Made in Rwanda policy government yashyizeho irahari, nasabaga abanyarwanda bose ko bayikoresha. Ibi rero icyo bidufasha nka private sector ni ukumenya yuko tugomba gukora Made in Rwanda kandi tukayikora mu bwinshi. Ikibazo dufite muri iki gihe nuko dukora bikeya bidashobora guhaza n'isoko ryo mu Rwanda. Nubwo dutekereza kujya mu isoko ryo hanze, ariko n'iryo mu Rwanda rikeneye ibintu byinshi bikorewe mu Rwanda. So nkabashimira leta yacu gushyiraho Made in Rwanda. Ibi byo mbabwira, hari ingero nyinshi tugiye tubona zibyara umusaruro kuri iyi policy. Ngira ngo mu minsi ishize leta hari ibintu byinshi ikenera, ari ibintu by'ubwubatsi, ari ibintu byo gukoresha nk'impapuro, ari ibintu byo gukoresha nka printing, byose birahari. Iyo tuganiriye n'abayobozi n'abaministers usanga ikintu cyitwa Made in Rwanda baragihaye priority. Iyo ufite rero icyo ukora mu Rwanda gishobora gusupplyinga ari government cyangwa ari institution runaka, ugikore mu bwinshi cyangwa mufatanye mu bikore, ariko isoko rirahari mu Rwanda ndetse n'iryo hanze rirahari, ariko iryo mu Rwanda naryo riracyaburamo ibyo bikoresho bitandukanye. So nkaba mbashimira cyane muri uyu mwanya, nkaba saba aba guest of honor Minister of Commerce kuza kutuha ibyo yatugeneye. Murakoze.
Thank you, Chairman. Honorable CEO of the Rwanda Development Board, Excellencies, ambassadors, distinguished representatives of government institutions, Chairman of the Private Sector Federation and board members, distinguished representatives of development partners, representatives of the private sector, captains of industries, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. Mwaramutse mwese, ko numva private sector idashyushye. Thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to be here today for this first National Business Forum. The National Business Forum is bringing together the business community, industrialists, service providers, development partners, and policymakers to discuss thoroughly the Made in Rwanda policy and looking back at the last 4 years since the Made in Rwanda initiative started. What have we achieved so far, and how can we keep the growth momentum? How do we achieve more progress, and how do we address the persisting challenges? I believe in the discussions during the panels this morning, a lot of challenges have been talked about, avenues of solutions and progress made. But what we really need is to build partnerships so that we can collectively, through policy decisions, interventions, and collaboration between government institutions, development partners, the private sector, ensure competitiveness of locally made products, and also, as government, provide the necessary support to our private sector. As you know, the vision of our country is to have a national economy driven by the private sector. The government of Rwanda has put in place specific strategies designed to attract investments in the strategic sectors that can help stimulate our private sector for Rwanda's development. The Made in Rwanda policy that we are implementing was designed with the purpose of courageously facing the long persisting challenge of trade deficit. This gap between what we trade outside and what we import has long been expanding. Hence the necessity to have a policy like this, Made in Rwanda, to help solve that issue. Now the question we have is, Made in Rwanda working? Let's take a look at a few numbers. The average rate of expansion of the manufacturing sector has been at a greater rate after the Made in Rwanda campaign. In the 3 years prior to the Made in Rwanda initiative, manufacturing was stagnant, contributing 323 billion Rwandan francs for 2 consecutive years in 2011 and 2012. It declined a little bit in 2014, but from 2015 onwards, we have seen an annual growth of 11% on average, contributing 510 billion Rwandan francs in the last fiscal year. If we add mining and construction, the industry sector has contributed 1,456 billion to the gross domestic product, up 49% from 2015. So Made in Rwanda works. The second example is looking at the numbers of exports. The rate of export growth has risen since the start of Made in Rwanda campaign. Before the Made in Rwanda started, exports were growing at an average of 10%. But the last 3 years, we have seen exports rising by 17%, but also we have seen a diversification of our exports. Where we used to export mostly coffee, tea, now we have vegetables, flowers, chili oil that are adding to our traditional exports. So Made in Rwanda works. The third example is in terms of quality. We have seen the number of quality certification rise steadily over the years. The latest numbers we have is that we have new product certification of about 40, 268 product recertification, and 555 system certification. These are the highest numbers we've had over the past years. We have also set up new standards, with the latest numbers standing at 2,198 new standards developed. Of course, it's not enough to have new standards developed. Enforcement is also key. But the quality of made in Rwanda products is exemplified by the products that we sell on international markets. If we have French beans that are being sold in the UK, if we have Rwanda clothing and Akamanga being sold in the US, marathons being exported to Germany, this means that quality of made in Rwanda is making strides, and it's also a trusted brand. So made in Rwanda works. Ladies and gentlemen, the government of Rwanda is fully committed to continue supporting local industries and investors keen on producing products and trading in services that can help curb the trade deficit. To lead by example, the government of Rwanda, being among the big buyers, has put in place a new public procurement law which allows local producers to have a 15% preference on their bids, provided that they're able to demonstrate that 30% is of 30% local value addition. We hope that this law will give a chance to our industry to bid for larger projects and supplies, but also encourage our private sector to work together so that they can bid for large government projects. This also means it puts to task the private sector to have quality products that can meet the standards and also are competitive vis-à-vis international brands. And our goal is twofold. The first one is that we want to boost exports, but we also want to have more of our locally made products consumed on the domestic market. Second, we want to see our youth trained in technical and managerial skills to create and run new companies, to create new and more jobs out of increased production of goods. There has been questions about incentives, not only for foreign investors, but also local producers. For today, for anyone who wants to start up an industry and start producing products here in Rwanda, you have tax exemptions and reduced rates, be it on VAT and import duties, on machinery and raw materials. And we hope that this incentive will continue to attract investors in strategic sectors. We have also put in place as a government other initiatives that has as objective to help industries to be created rapidly and grow fast. We can emphasize on how easily and quickly it is for a business to obtain registration in Rwanda, but also how industries can get industrial service land for industrial activities and also the subsidized electricity tariff currently being given to our local industries. So the government of Rwanda through RDB, Minicom, but also on quality through the Rwanda Standards Board, the Rwanda Food and Drug Administration, through NIRDA, through Mini ICT, will support existing industries for them to scale up, have innovative, competitive products, access the latest technology so that we can satisfy the local demand, but also export made in Rwanda across the world. We have new policies that are being developed, such as the entrepreneurship development policy, a new industrial policy to accelerate investment in industries producing made in Rwanda, as well as offer incentives to companies focusing on the sectors with high potential for growth. Despite these great strides that Made in Rwanda has made, there are still challenges that the private sector faces in promoting Made in Rwanda. Some of them have been talked about in previous discussion. First and foremost is the cost of raw materials. Then we have high transportation costs and a shortfall in some areas of skilled labor. This is why it is important to still foster partnerships between development partners, but also the private sector in other countries so that we can address these challenges. We have talked about marketing and sales. How can we aggressively market our products so that we can increase our exports even more? There's also access to finance. not only access to finance, but also making sure that our private sector is able to service the debt that they acquire. There's also some challenges, especially for SMEs, on financial literacy. These are some of the areas where we will need to make more efforts going forward. We have made a lot of progress in the past 4 years, but the work is only starting. And I count on every one of you to work together so that we can really make Made in Rwanda a global brand. I would like to therefore end by thanking and recognizing all individuals, companies, and institutions that have created and promoted Made in Rwanda, both domestically and internationally. To our guests from the US, Kenya, Namibia, South Africa, et nos invités de la République démocratique du Congo, bienvenue au Rwanda. Welcome to you all, and thank you for participating to this forum. So I want to take this time to thank you again for your participation today, and I wish you to continue providing your tireless support to this important national policy. As His Excellency President Paul Kagame always says, it's really by working together that we will develop our country. And I want to thank His Excellency the President for his unwavering support to the private sector, where he leads by examples, giving us an example of how government should work and support private sector tirelessly. I know we don't always agree, but it's important that we keep working together. I wish you all fruitful discussions during this inaugural National Business Forum. Thank you all.
Much, Honorable Minister. Another round of applause for our guest of honor.